God. Jesus gave us 2 commandments, sort of condensed down from Moses. He said, love your neighbor with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your soul. Love God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, to feel that oneness. And his second commandment was love your neighbor as yourself, right? So how's that self-love going? You know, loving yourself, putting yourself on that hero list. I learned one of the greatest experiences of self-love, I didn't know it at the time, but from being a flight attendant. I got your attention, didn't I, Kathy? From being a flight attendant. Yeah, I was doing the exit doors, as I've showed you many Sundays, and the live vest, and in those days, we didn't stand by a monitor and just watch the safety demonstration. We actually had a little bag of things we had to show people. So showed them the seatbelt, they were usually falling asleep with that one, and then the life vest. And then we had that margarine cup experience, which was called an oxygen mask. Looked like a margarine cup. And so they would say, if pressure changes in the cabin, oxygen masks will fall from the compartment above your seat. Please place the mask over your face, your nose and mouth, and secure it with the elastic band around your head. Of course, I was always wondering how many people have been putting on this mask. It's in my hand, but I survived. So the point was, what they say after that was the best teaching in self-love I think I've ever had. They said, you must secure your mask before you can help anyone else. If you can't breathe, how are you going to help somebody else breathe? You're passing out while you're trying to help somebody put their mask on. So this is the greatest spiritual teaching, and this is what Jesus is teaching us. That if we don't focus on that hero within, we cannot inspire others to do the same. That often, if you think you're loving someone else and you're not loving yourself, you're probably trying to fix them or to change them or to worry about them. Or if you'll feel better, if you'll change, then I'll feel better. But have you noticed how that doesn't work? It doesn't work at all. Your job is to find that hero and discover that hero that's in you, and then you can inspire others. You're not changing them, you're not fixing them. You're saying, this is how it worked for me. By loving myself, by knowing God. And that's the first step in Spirit Quest, is to know God within you. The second step is to be willing to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. This hero's journey, this Spirit Quest, is doing something different. Think of the things that we do the same over and over and over. We call it our comfort zone, but really, it's more like a rut for many of us. They say that, you may not, you'll be in a rut, but you're going to make it look like a condo or something. You're going to hang stuff up. But it could still be a rut if you're not feeling inspired. So we've got to be willing to do something different in this journey. I know when we keep changing these seats, everybody has to move, and it may be weird, but you get a new perspective, right? Congratulations to all you that have moved up there. But to just do something different. I've got this thing when I go in a restaurant, I really like to sit by a window, by the table, or I like to sit outside, and people are usually very kind to me when I say, can I sit at that table? And they'll say, okay, sure, that's fine. But I just practiced the other day. I just actually followed the hostess to the table she took me to. And I didn't say anything. I just went, okay, this is all right. I'm going to be with this, and I'm going to try not to control the universe. And it's little things. Can we get comfortable in doing something uncomfortable? Because if you're willing to do that exercise, then when the things in life that come along that you normally say no to, you could say maybe, or perhaps, because it feels uncomfortable, but I'm willing to give this a try if I'm feeling inspired. A man that we called a hero just a few months ago was Sully Sullenberg, who after taking off from LaGuardia Airport and his commercial 727 had birds that flew into his engines and was not going to be able to fly that plane anymore. He was told to perhaps go back to LaGuardia, go to another airport, but Sully Sullenberg, engaging his hero, decided to try something different and land that plane in the Hudson River. Now, we all know that Sully had been an aviation pilot and had landed planes in water before, but I don't think he'd ever landed a 727 in the Hudson River. And I am sure that he didn't at that time go, oh, what a fun adventure. Let's do this today. I'm sure it was, oh my heavens, I'm going to have to engage a deeper part of me to do something new. And as I've looked at Sully Sullenberg's life, he spent some time understanding the psychology of crisis and people in crisis and how to be in crisis and how to engage the hero. Because the hero is the wisdom in you, friends. And your wisdom, and your saying yes, is your role on this planet. So if you don't say yes to your hero, the whole divine order is off. Okay, no pressure. But you know, if you don't do your thing, the whole system of life at some level is off. So this is your responsibility to go within and say yes or say no. It depends on what is your authentic nature. Now, I understand things happen in life that are tremendously uncomfortable. When we talk about this hero's journey, sometimes it's not just saying yes to something that's fun and it feels good. It's often sitting with uncomfortability. We've had an economic shift on this entire planet, and people have had their jobs that have ended. That some of them, people have had jobs for many years. And I've listened to all your stories, and they just continue to inspire me as you all have engaged that hero, many of you, and just said, I don't know what's coming, but I know it's going to be something new, it's going to be different, and I can feel the pain and the sadness of it, but I'm also going to know that God didn't bring me to it if God's not going to bring me through it. And one example is my friend Daniel, I just talked to yesterday, who had a job at Hallmark for many years and was let go because of the shift at Hallmark. And Daniel spent a few months just being and learning. Again, not to be or not to be, not to be or not to be, but to be. You don't have to be afraid of who you are. You don't have to be afraid of this life. You engage it. You let it open you. You let you become more aware. And I just saw Daniel yesterday, and he said, I said, so how's it going? Because he's looked so positive about this experience. I couldn't tell if he had found work or hadn't found work, because he was just being Daniel. And he said, yes, I have 2 jobs, in fact, and he's teaching Zumba, which he loves, good bit there, and he's also working at a retirement home, doing some other kind of exercise in inspiration teaching. But regardless, as he's talking about it, the passion was there. The hero's going on, even though he had a big shift in his life. So the hero's journey is not just about the things that feel fun and easy. They're most likely the things that feel difficult, and overcoming those obstacles, as Christopher Reeve showed us, was something amazingly difficult. But life can feel amazingly difficult just with work, with relationships, with health. It's the things that are everyday things where you get to engage that hero. And finally, one of my favorite slogans is Nike's "Just Do It." Just do it. What is it that's calling you right now? What is it that has your attention? It could be some big thing, like, looking for a new career or taking a big trip somewhere. But it could be something very simple, like healing a relationship. Learning how to say, I would really love to heal what's going on with us. And so I'm going to look at my part in this. I'm going to look at where I've been afraid, where I've been shut down. I can say I feel angry. I can say I feel sad. And I can show up more powerfully in this relationship. And would you be willing to do some healing with me? It may be a situation with an illness with your body, that you're wanting to love your body through the shift and the change. For us to be able to trust in love, to trust in our life purpose, to trust in our wellness is just as much the hero's journey as anything. I have been so inspired by so many of your stories. And the song goes on to say, Lord knows dreams are hard to follow, but don't let anyone take them away. Hold on, there will be tomorrow, and eventually you'll find the way. You will. You just keep going. You just keep going. Many of you, again, with your stories, you're all heroes, and I love to hear this overcoming because it is going on at all times with all of us.